Hello. Gonna give it a couple minutes before we get started here. I had a meeting with my daughter's school this morning, and that kind of threw me off a little bit. So I am just trying to get things organized a little bit here still. How's everybody doing today? I'm also using StreamYard today, which I've never used before. So, hi Michelle, how are you? Okay, it looks like I can't see the comments on here, so that's good because I didn't know how to do that. So, awesome. Thanks for coming, Michelle. Appreciate you showing up again. I also did not get a chance to post anywhere that I was doing this, so I'm gonna do that really quick in some of the my social media and some of the discords that I'm in, and then we will go ahead and get rolling. Sorry to wake you up from your nap too. Let's see. Tell me if anybody in the comments wants to say what you're working on today. That would be fun. Make some tea. That sounds excellent. Good plan. Making some tea. I am trying to figure out. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little not put together today, honestly. I don't even really know what I'm going to be writing. Uh, so since last week, I did not make very much progress. I did a little more writing on Tuesday, I think, maybe Wednesday too. But really did not make much progress. I was hoping to do a little more throughout the week and on the weekend, but that didn't happen. I ended up being more busy at work than normal, which is a good thing. I think that is going to kind of be my new normal at this point, being more busy and doing more, having more clients and all of that, which is good in some ways, but it also means that I need to really get myself together with a schedule and figure out what I'm doing and fitting writing in and all of that. So we're working on that. I'm also trying to make some changes at home with my kids and their routine a little bit, because that has not been great through the summer. So I think if I can get that figured out and get some good momentum with that, that'll be good. I also did the farmers market this weekend, which was really good, but those days are always kind of tiring for me. I think just because they're so early. When they switch back to the 10 to 2 hours, that seems to work better for me. But this 8 to 12 thing, it's really exhausting. And I always have the intention of oh, I'm going to come home and I have the whole day ahead of me and I can still write and I can still do all these fun creative things. And then I usually just end up taking a nap because I'm super tired. So that's how that's going. And that probably needs to change. Okay, I'm going to post one more thing and then we can go ahead and get started. Okay, Michelle, you're working on book 2 of your fantasy trilogy. Awesome. I'm working on book 3 of my fantasy trilogy still. I think I had a grand total of 2,000 words for the week, which is not what I would prefer. I'd like to have a little more. This book's gonna end up being like 100,000 words, and it's like 32,000 right now. So I really just need to like make better progress than that. So that's why we're doing these. So here we are. We're gonna have a great day. We're gonna do some awesome writing. I did. I have like these little affirmations that I'm gonna write down. I'm gonna pick one out randomly and then write it on this whiteboard so we can all see it. And I think I left the jar behind me, so let me grab that really quick. All right. So I have this cute little jar that I put all these like positive, creative affirmations. Yes, Michelle, it is 2,000 more than I had before. So at least it's something because compared to like the previous months where the progress was zero, at least that's something. I also will apologize. I don't know if you guys can hear like a buzzing in the background. I have had some major issues with my desktop computer lately, which is what I usually write on. I have gone through it and replaced some of the parts, trying to just like update it and get a few more years out of it at least, because it's like 7 years old now and it still works fine-ish, but it's starting to make weird noises, which is not great. So I think the current theory is that the fan is broken or like something's wrong with it. So I did order a replacement for that. And we'll hopefully be putting that in. But in the meantime, it is kind of buzzing. I don't know how much of that the microphone is picking up. I do have a new microphone today. Good. I'm glad that you don't hear anything. I hear buzzing that's like very annoying, but as long as you guys don't hear it, I don't really care. I'm used to it at this point. Anyways, we're going to pick an affirmation today and then I'll write it down and we'll be able to have a look at it while we're doing this stream. So today's affirmation is I learn and grow from taking creative risks. Cool. Okay, I like that one. I learn and grow from taking creative risks. We're going to write that down on my nice little board here. And we're going to try to like make it readable because my handwriting is absolutely horrific. I learn and grow from taking creative not a big risk taker, Michelle. Am I am scared of the risks that this book is requiring me to take, even though there are things that I set up in previous books, and like I think it will all come together in the end. But it scares me a lot, and I'm thinking that like, what if this doesn't work, and what if this was a stupid idea? But so this is a good affirmation for today. Learn and grow from taking creative risks. I think risks are good too because they like especially like when you're feeling stuck on a story, sometimes taking a risk and doing something different than maybe what you're used to can be a good way to like get you unstuck. So yeah, we'll just keep that in mind today while we get started. Okay, I think that I also figured out how to share my screen and put. Oh, I did want to just real quick pop in one more Discord and mention that I am doing sprints. Okay, and real quick, one last thing. I am feeling like kind of self-conscious about being watched while I'm writing. That's been kind of weird. I got used to it by the end of the stream last time, like it wasn't such a big deal. But I think for today, I'm going to like move the webcam over to the side so that we can see the affirmation that's written down and the little candle that's burning, and just have like some nice ambiance. And then you guys don't have to stare at me while I'm writing and the weird faces that I make and like kind of mumbling dialogue to myself or whatever else I do while I'm writing. So we're going to do that. I'm going to share the screen. How do we do that again? Like this, I think. Sorry. We'll get this. We'll get this. We got it. Okay. This is going to be a countdown. And we're going to... what should we do? Like 20 minutes? Maybe 20 minutes? Michelle, do you got any... Yeah. I know you're not watching me, but it does feel really weird that like anybody could look up at any moment and see whatever I'm doing, which is sometimes, I don't know. I just feel self-conscious about it. So whatever. We're gonna look at the beautiful affirmation instead and the candle, and it'll be great. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I was trying to find one that was like more aesthetically pleasing. Maybe I'll find a different one for next time, but this is what we got for now. It's functional. I was able to change the sound on it too, because like I hate like alarm sounds. Certain alarm sounds just drive me crazy. So that's what we're doing. 20 or 25 with a 5-minute break. Okay, let's start with like 20. That sounds great. I also love a good candle. These candles, so this fun fact, here's a fun fact. So this one, I don't know if you can see that, smoky gray. So what I have found that candles are like really helpful for me when I'm writing. I don't know why, just something about it. I started using candles when I was doing like Calico Thunder Rise again. I had like this caramel popcorn candle, kind of circusy, fun thing. And then it just was really helpful for like getting me right back immersed into the story immediately and things like that. So this one kind of smells like a smoky gray, kind of foresty, outdoorsy setting. When I was writing Tethered Spirits, I bought 3 candles from Walmart, one for each point of view character, like a scent that I felt like kind of fit them. So this is the latest candle, and I just kind of like it. It's kind of fun. So unfortunately, it doesn't like have a super strong smell anymore. That's what you get for buying candles at Walmart, probably, but whatever. So I need to get a new candle, but this is what we have today. And I think we're ready to get going. We'll go ahead and go for 20 minutes, and then we will, yeah. Michelle, that's my plan too. I need to go shopping for candles also. Where do you guys like to buy candles? Like, what's a good long lasting, like a brand of candles or like a place to get them where they're like good quality? Because I think I need to invest in that. Oh, Jen showed up. Hi, Jen. Okay, we will go ahead and get started, I guess. Everybody ready? Michelle, are we ready? Ready or not? Here we go. Ready? Oh, let me move this. Okay, we're gonna put this down here. And we can see that beautiful situation instead. There we go. That looks better than I think Bed Bath and Beyond, but the local one closed recently. Yeah, I need to. I don't know that we have Bed Bath and Beyond here. Possibly. We have a lot of things here. This is like a much bigger city than what I'm used to living in. So there's probably a lot of stuff here that I don't know about. Okay, here we go. Enough babbling and rambling on. Here we go. Ready, set, and go. I don't know if you guys heard that buzzing. I'm so sorry. I just realized my speaker's not plugged in, so I wouldn't be able to hear the timer. All right. So we've done with that one. Pop this back up here real quick. All right. How'd we do with that round? Everybody, hi, Mr. Blandis. Thanks for dropping in. Yes, I understand. Work not being able to do anything. I appreciate you popping in, anyways. Michelle, how did that go for you? I'm just gonna add up my word count really quick and see. So I have 225 words, which is actually better than I thought. It took me quite a bit to get going and to kind of remember where I was going with that scene and what I was doing, especially because it was kind of a new scene that I had just decided to add in randomly. But didn't get a lot of words, but you have a strategy now. That's good. That's kind of how I'm feeling too. I got more words than I thought I would, but definitely feeling better about going into the next round, having a better strategy. Hopefully wrapping up this chapter today, and then I do know exactly what comes next after that, so that should be easier. Hopefully I can get some better momentum going with that. Oh, I did almost take our, I'm going to stretch a little bit, but I did almost take our affirmation to heart, maybe a little too much. I just was really frustrated with this scene at the beginning when we started working on it and thinking that, like, okay, and honestly, I'm still not sure that it will end up being kept. But I kind of was feeling a little bit like, oh, this is just a waste of time. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I should just like cut this entire scene and start over from the last thing that happened. But I decided that that would not quite the. I mean, that's like a big creative risk. I think more than I'm comfortable with at this point. So we went ahead and just continued with it, stuck it out, and hopefully that will work out. 158 words. That's great. Michelle, that's awesome. 158. Pretty good. You got a good plan going. Ready to keep moving. We'll take a few minutes to just kind of reset, rest our brains. I think Michelle, you said you want to mark 5 minutes at least, which is fair. I wouldn't mind at least a few more minutes. Sometimes you've got to just write a wild scene and figure out if it's good or bad later. Yes, I do have to do that. I think it's hard for me to do that at this point because I feel like I wasted so much time not writing. And it's hard for me to remember that like it wasn't a waste of time. I was doing other things and it's fine. And it's gonna take as long as it takes, and that doesn't mean that I should like sacrifice the process, I guess, in my rush to just get it done. So this is the process. We're writing the scene. Not sure if it will be kept or if it will be moved or what, but that's what we're doing. We'll see how it goes. It's one of those scenes with, I think I've talked a little bit about the character of Tariq. So he has a little bit bigger role in this book, which was good because that's part of why I added him in the second book. He was a very late stage addition to the story. So the soldier character, but this is a scene involving him that is kind of a mess because again it's like one of those things that wasn't in the original plan, in the original outline, but we're putting it in there anyways. The process sucks. I don't like it. I want a new process. Yeah, sometimes I hear you. I feel that way too. The process does suck sometimes. Anyways, what's everybody like excited about this week? Anything exciting happening or that happened in the past week that you're looking forward to or excited about? Yes, Michelle, this is the new character that you liked and wanted more of, I think. So, yeah, he's kind of an interesting character. He brings an interesting dynamic, like perspective, I guess. An interesting perspective, kind of a different perspective than the other characters have on the war and the state of things and what should happen going forward. So he's kind of interesting. He's also a good, I don't want to say replacement for Saya, but kind of a good stand-in for Saya, at least temporarily. Um, he kind of has that like warrior tough kind of energy that she had, and especially where the characters are kind of in like a vulnerable position, and being hunted and being attacked. I needed somebody else who could like kind of hold their own in that situation. So he's a good stand in for that. Same boring week. Ooh, a writing retreat at a cabin sounds fabulous. I that's like one of my goals this year or next year, maybe, it's to have a writing retreat. I found the coolest Airbnb at in Cedar City, which is like, I don't know, 45 minutes away from where I live. But they've like created this hobbit hole situation in their backyard, and I need to go there and stay there because it looks amazing. And I just want to go stay there by myself for a couple days and just write. It sounds magical. I would love to do that. A little harder to do that, um, having kids and like trying to get away from with with kids who need you constantly, as kids do, which is great. But one of these days, be nice, even if it's just overnight. That would be amazing. I think the thing that I'm most excited about is just we got news about Art Means Death season two. Everybody's probably sick of me talking about this, but I love it and I'm really excited about it that it's coming in October. The pictures were really cool from season two, so that's like my most exciting thing. When I'm having like a down moment or just feeling like oh man, I'm just like not feeling it today. I'm kind of sad today. Sometimes I just pop those pictures up and look at them. And it makes me like, see, we have something good to look forward to. I really would like to finish this draft before October. I don't know if that's realistic, but I think come October, when that season releases, I'm going to be kind of a mess. But that's all right. If you reread a book when the new one is about to come out, like just skim through it to refresh your mind. I it kind of depends. So this is only my second series that I've written. So I think it's so with the second book when I was writing it, I usually keep a copy of the first book next to me, and I'm pretty good at remembering like where everything is, and like if there's a detail I don't remember, I'm pretty good at being able to just find it. Um, so I'll do that. Um, but then with are like as a reader, are you talking about, or as a writer? So when the if I'm a reader and a new book is about to come out and I'm wanting to like remember the story, sometimes I will kind of skim through it. Depends like how long it's been between releases and like how memorable that book was for me. Um, Sometimes I'll like if it's like a traditionally published book that's pretty popular, sometimes you can find good summaries for the book online. So sometimes I'll do that. And sometimes I'll just go into it and just read it. Yeah. No, that's okay. As a reader or as a reader, it really just kind of depends for me. Um, if it's like kind of a more complex story, I guess, especially for like a lot of these like fantasy series, adult fantasy series in particular, um, then yeah, it's helpful to like for me to reread it or skim through it. And to be 100% honest, sometimes that's like something that will prevent me from reading the next book in a series because it's been so long since I read the one before, and I'm like overwhelmed by the fact that I don't remember what happened. And then it's hard to like, I'm not going to remember. I'm not going to be as invested in the story because I just don't remember what happened. So it's hard. That's part of the reason why I've seen just a couple of books do this, and that's why I did it with Revenant Prince, and I'll do it again with Riven Empire, where they have a summary in the front of the book of what came in the book before, and just listing out and like telling all the important details, the things that you want to make sure that readers really remember. That's really, really helpful. I love when books do that. I know this one author, or G.S. Jensen. She writes this enormously huge sci-fi series. It's huge, like it's ridiculous, honestly. And I'm not a person who likes to read very long series, but I started with her books when there was just like a couple of them out, and now I've been sucked into like reading all of them, which is not something I normally would do. But she is the first person I saw that did that, that put like a summary of what happened in previous books at the beginning of hers. And so I just think that's really helpful. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that that was helpful. I have had several people that have said it was helpful. I figure like if people don't want to read it, that's great. Skip it. It's not. It doesn't matter. But it's there if you need it and want it. So why not? Yeah, I think a lot of people probably do only read first books. It's hard to like pick up a book that's only book one in the series and then like the other books aren't out yet and then you're kind of just left in limbo. So it's not very fun. See, I honestly usually only pick up series if I know that like the second book is already out or like the series is finished or whatever, which unless it's like something that I think is going to be really cool or that I'm like really excited about reading, that sounds really interesting, then I will go ahead and pick up the first book, even though I know it's going to be a wait for the other two. I feel like that's like not fair as an author because I don't like necessarily when readers do that. Like I want them to pick up book one and try it out, and then hopefully stick around and wait for the other books. But I get it. It's like hard. It's frustrating. Yeah, I think that's reasonable to, yeah, just put a quick summary. Summaries are really hard to write, I will say. Writing that summary for Tethered Spirits was like one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I wrote a longer one. I think it was like twice as long as it ended up being initially, and then had to trim it down a lot. But yeah, my advice would be if you're going to do that, stick to like what's really important. First of all, like the things that readers really need to remember because they're going to tie into what's happening in the second book. And also, if you're already giving like a summary, not a summary, or like a reminder to readers in the actual text of book two, you don't need to include that in the summary because they're going to get that as they read book two. But if there's other details that maybe like you really want to call attention to or that like they're not going to get just by reading the second book, definitely put those in. But summaries suck to write. It's like worse than writing a blurb, honestly. It's terrible. Not to scare you, but that's my experience. Anyways, just knock it out as best as you can. It'll be great. I'm happy to, of course, read it over and give feedback if you want, which is what I always have to do when I'm writing those things. So, yeah. Okay, are we ready to go again before I lose track of what I was planning to do next in this? Because that will definitely have to do. So we'll go ahead and reset our timer. Yes, worse than the blurb, I promise. It's terrible. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news on that one. Okay, do we want to go for 25 minutes this time? Let's see what happens. We reset the timer. Why is it not? Okay, we're going to do a little longer this time. We'll do 25 minutes. And let me share the screen again. No, that's not the right button. Okay. Put you guys back down here. Remind us of our beautiful affirmation. I learn and grow from taking creative risks. Okay, here we go. Ready, set, go. All right. All right. Oh, big stretch again. How did we do with that one? The alarm on that one kind of caught me off guard. I was in the zone. Didn't realize we were ready to be done already. How did everybody do with that one? Michelle, how's that for you? I'm just gonna check mine really quick. 378 words on that one. Pretty good. We'll take it. 378 words. I was kind of in the middle of trying to. I've almost gotten to the point where I can wrap this scene up and move on to the next chapter. Probably get through the rest of that in the next round, hopefully. And then I can move on. Because I have been stuck on this chapter forever and I'm sick of it. So it'd be nice to get to something else. And actually, I think I'm not entirely sure where I'm putting the part dividers. So my book, for this series, I've divided into. That's okay. I always forget to kind of mark where I started to, but I did remember this time, so that was good. You had a breakthrough and fixed 2 chapters. What was your breakthrough? If you want to share, or if it's spoilers, that's okay too. You don't have to. Yeah, I think I'm almost. So I divide this series. Each book is divided into parts. There's like 3 parts for each book. For this book, I think there's actually going to be 4 parts. But I think after I finish this chapter, I will go ahead and start part 2. So that's exciting. I don't know if it will stay there. Sometimes they get moved around, but it seems like a good natural transition breaking point into the next part. So we're going to do that, and that'll be fun. It's a little spoilery. Writing from a different point of view helps you figure out one chapter. That's always good when you can do that. I think switch up the point of view a little bit. I sometimes think that I'm going to write a scene in one character's point of view and then realize that that was not the right point of view choice and it needs to be somebody else's perspective. So sometimes just switching over and at least trying it out for a few paragraphs, see how it goes. That can be helpful. Oh, my eyes are like tired, though. I'm like still trying to come out of that one a little bit. Is it cooling off anywhere where you guys live? We're kind of getting into fall and it's starting to cool down here a little bit. I live in southern Utah. It's very the desert. It's really, really hot all the time. And today it's only supposed to be 99, so not over 100, which is good. It's nice to cool off a little bit. We're getting into September. Usually by October-ish, it's starting to cool down a little more. But September is still probably going to be pretty hot. But at least least it's cooling off a little bit. Especially when I do the farmers market on the weekend, I've noticed that like the hot weather seems to make people not want to come out to the farmers market. So, but then I'm stuck out there for 4 hours and it's kind of miserable. This past weekend wasn't too bad, but 101 here for Michelle today. So pretty cool for you guys. That's that's great. Michelle also lives in a very hot location. I know. So yeah, just we love the hot desert weather. But yeah, by the end of summer, I'm definitely ready for it to cool down a little bit. I also just really like fall and all the fall things and like, the Halloween things and just fall is fun. Even though we don't get much of a fall here, it's really just more like a slightly cooler summer. But yeah. Yeah, I do have a shade tent. It really depends on where the sun is because we're like there early in the morning. The sun is usually, like right here, just coming right under the shade thing and into my tent. So if I don't have like a neighbor on either side of me, which has happened the two hottest weekends that I was there, I like didn't have a neighbor and the sun was just shooting right into me into my tent. So that was not great. You hate pumpkin. Oh, that's sad. I do like pumpkin. I like apple too, but yeah, it seems like the pumpkin spice stuff, right, always comes up, and which I like, but I know it's not for everybody. So it'd be nice to have like some more options. It'd be good. Fall is good. Snuggly time of the year though. I like just reading during fall is really nice and just I don't know, snuggling up with a book. That's always fun. You guys have any good fall book recommendations? I just finished one that was really good for fall. It's called why can't I remember the name right now? I just put a Instagram post about it. And it's called This Too Shall Burn, but it's got some witches in it and it's a good one. It's not actually released yet, actually. It's coming out in September. But it's a really good book and I really enjoyed it. And I got to beta read it and then got an arc for it and it's a good one. It's a good one and the cover is gorgeous. I'm just gonna show you guys for a second if you haven't seen it already because it's very pretty. That's what it looks like. It's pretty cool. This Too Shall Burn is what it's called. It's short too. It's a quick read. It's like about as long as like my Calico Thunder book. I think it's about the same size, so probably about the same amount of pages, like 200 ish. I want to say maybe slightly longer than that. Quick read, really good. Definitely check it out. It's got like some pretty heavy themes, I guess, with like women's health issues and like um, religion and religious trauma, which that some of those things like just really resonated with me a lot. And so, yeah, it's a good fantasy book. There's like lots of just talking about like also respect for the earth and the earth's resources, I guess. Kind of a good one. For Winter Neverland, an anthology by a bunch of indie authors. Oh, that sounds cool. I like anthologies. I don't read them as much. I really like short stories. I just like don't read them as much for some reason. But anthologies are fun. That's cool to have like a winter one. It's nice to like get a short, quick taste of kind of different writers' writing styles, I guess, and then if you like it, you can check out something longer that they've written. So that's kind of cool. Cool. Okay. Are we ready for this will probably be our last one, and then I've got to go, you know, check on kids and stuff. Kids are home from school today. Actually, they like did their testing stuff that they got to do, and then one of my daughters is like just not feeling very well, so she's in bed resting and is home today. So I just have kids home today, and they're doing a pretty good job of letting me letting me do this instead of coming and bothering me. So we appreciate that. But I do probably need to go check on them. So I think we'll go ahead and just do like a 20-minute sprint this time, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. So let me find my timer. Yeah, I hope she feels better soon too. She, poor kid, we just started school and she's in middle school now. So like it's kind of more of a big deal for her to miss school, but not a big deal, not like huge, but like, then she has like actual work to make up for. So that sucks. Anyways, we are ready to go. I got our timer set. I'm getting better at the screen sharing thing, or that's what I'm going to tell myself. There it is. Okay, here we go. Oh, let's get our ambiance going so we don't have to look at me the whole time. Beautiful. Maybe stay put. There we go. Okay, here we go. Ready, set, go. All right. There's our last one. All right. How did that go? I think that went pretty good for me. I think I just have like one more paragraph maybe to wrap this chapter up. So I might actually try to do that really quick when the stream ends and then get going. It looks like I ended up with about 500 words on that one. I can't remember exactly where I left off, so that might not be accurate. But going back to where we were when we started this whole stream. There it is. Okay. I just wanted to see for the day how many words did we write? 1,105. Not too shabby. We'll take it. 160 words. Nice. A new idea. Great job, Michelle. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, 500 is pretty good for me. If I can just kind of like get into a groove. It was dialogue. I was writing dialogue, and dialogue is always like the fastest, easiest thing for me to write. It kind of just flows out. I know what the characters are going to say and how they're going to respond to each other, so that's pretty easy. At least in the first draft. Fixing the dialogue afterwards, however, tends to be harder and more time consuming. So, but that's all right. So we're good with that. So this will be almost the end of chapter 15 for me, and I think I am going to go ahead and wrap up part 1 and move on to part 2. So my next chapter will be in Aleda's point of view, and I do know exactly what needs to happen in that chapter, so I may even be able to finish that one this week, I hope. I love dialogue. I love dialogue too. I do not love describing the locations. I hate writing descriptions. In fact, I've talked about this before, but I often, at least I used to, I kind of have tried to like force myself to do something different. But it used to be that I just would like not write descriptions at all in my first drafts. I would just kind of breeze past them, and sometimes I would like insert a little like brackets and write a description here. And that would be it. And then I just breeze past it, and that was a problem for future me. But then it very much did get to be a problem for future me, and future me was mad that I was doing that to myself. So I have started forcing myself to just write the stupid descriptions as I'm going along, and that's fine, but I also hate it. But I'd rather just get them out and I can fix them later. But descriptions are hard. I hate descriptions. They're like, oh, they're so tedious. They're just hard. So I'm glad you like them, but I do not. Action scenes are also kind of a struggle for me too, though. Action scenes are, but I would definitely much rather write an action scene than a description. So there's that. All right, well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day. I am going to do this again next week. I'm doing this every Monday until this draft is written, unless I have like something else going on. Next week, I should be good to start a little earlier. Today, I started at 11 Mountain Time, just because I had a meeting at school for one of my kiddos. So next week, I think we're going to go ahead and start at like 10. And I may even be looking at doing like 9:30 Mountain Time. So if anybody, Michelle, you're the one that has been most consistent showing up. If you have a preference either way, let me know. But I do think that starting a little earlier for me is going to work a little better. So I'm just trying to push it up. Having to do a bunch of things you don't like is harder than spreading them out in between doing parts you do like. Yeah, I think that's what I discovered was that just kind of wrapping them all up and saving them to do all at once got to be really overwhelming. Having to go through and write a bunch of descriptions from scratch was like, yeah, it's not my favorite. So it's better to just, it's better for me to just get it done as I go along. Okay, whenever is good. All right, I don't know yet. We'll see what happens, but it'll be at like 9:30 or 10 a.m. Mountain Time next week. So it's one or it's almost 1 o'clock right now, just for reference. All right, guys. Well, thank you to whoever joined in. Thanks, Michelle, for coming and keeping me company in the chat. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have an awesome week. Don't forget our beautiful affirmation. Maybe this is something to kind of keep with you for the week. I learn and grow from taking creative risks. Don't be afraid to take creative risks. Sometimes they can be helpful. And yeah, thank you guys for coming. It makes me more productive too. It is fun to have somebody to chat with and just makes a good consistent progress at least one day a week. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Thank you. We'll see you next time.